Iziz, and working my way down the list here. I'm trying to remember where everybody was. Hesn was being followed.
Yes.
And he had, I believe, radioed people that he was being followed and, you know, meet me at this alleyway.
I kind of have a plan.
I have a plan. I sort of have a plan.
I don't remember what it is at this point, but that sounds like Hesbit.
You know, maybe there's something, and there might be, I could do something, and we'll get some money and stuff. Maybe. Backup was talking with the local sort of junk / contraband junk dealer, whose name currently escapes me. I'm going to have to go back. I want to say it starts with a V, maybe. Possibly.
What's her name? Is that my friend?
No, that your friend was the V.
Yes.
He was. Shoot! Now I'm going to have to go to my notes.
K something, wasn't it?
What's that? I can't remember, but I will remember.
It should be one of the recaps, right?
Yeah, it should be one of the recaps.
Should be the recap for, I want to say 4, like Onderon 4, maybe.
The last one that wasn't a stroll to a village.
Yeah. Yes.
Housekeeping at Shadow Point Station.
Scrolling.
Maybe the third.
Housekeeping at Shadow Point Station.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. Yes, my friend was Virala Mishar.
And what was the name of the
Backup and Alir were meeting with Kavya Slen.
There you go, Kavya. It was a K. Good on you. So you'd met with Kavya, and she was lining up potentially a couple different droids. Alir had gotten sort of a bucket full of droid parts she thought she could put together, and she had also talked about, well, 2 things. She had talked about, that's really bright. I want it that bright. Wanting to have a little, like, sort of a sit-down drink with Backup at some point, just to kind of compare notes. And B, that there was like 3 skyhoppers that apparently had been crashed by idiots out in the jungle, and she knew their locations.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had the means of recovering those, you could keep one as sort of payment for that. So that might be a resource worth having. I don't remember what Akana was up to.
Akana is going, and then I missed what it was. So, in fact, it literally says in the
notes
summary, Akana is going, square brackets, missed this. And that's the last she's mentioned in the notes.
I can't remember what she was doing.
Next time, Hesmit has a horrible, brilliant idea.
And now we're at next time. All right.
Yes.
So, Hesmit, what's your horrible, brilliant idea? Or rather, what do you do?
I remember that I wanted to take these guys and lure them into an alley.
Yes.
By which they would think that they were going to jump me. But I was instead going to jump them.
Okay. And you got people coming.
And I think this was so that the whole thing we wanted to do was we wanted to get into an Imperial installation for some reason, if I remember correctly.
Your bit, I think, was at the time when we were working in Fate. So you had a thing where you had like a bounty on your head, and you thought maybe you could rig up some way where you could be brought in for the reward.
That's right. We were going to use that to pay for the drones.
Right.
Sorry about that. We were going to do something with my family and or smuggling, trying to
you were offering
up some
in exchange for services.
Right. Yeah. You were going to try and see if you could
make some money.
Right.
Make friends in low places.
Which is perfect because you actually now conveniently we have switched game systems, and now we actually have a move for what you were trying to do. How convenient is that?
And now we have 2.5 vehicles.
2.5 is probably fair. most recent Star Wars Rebels, you get to watch several Gazanti cruisers get blown up. They get beat up quite badly. Okay, so Hesman's gonna describe to me what you're doing. Do you tell me what this whole thing is looking like? Are you luring them along? Are you looking like are you breaking into a run so that they're following you pell-mell? Are you being purposely clueless looking? What's this look like?
No, I think it's it's just that thing where he's kind of like not really paying any attention to him and just like, walking like he doesn't have any real care in the world into this alleyway that he knows is the perfect. If he was going to do this to somebody else, it would have been the perfect place for him to do it.
And you're going in there, and it's kind of under your breath. I really hope you guys are close to where I am because I'm about to get in a really bad. If you're not here,
Do something stupid.
If you're not here, this is going to be a really bad idea.
Long walk off a short pier.
Okay. I want to have everybody roll help, but I don't think that's probably appropriate for this one.
We could all sing it instead.
No, it's okay. How close are you? Okay, so you're just, that they're following you and you're just going to kind of lead them in there. Not so much, without giving anything away. All right. I'm going to have you act under pressure.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me a cool roll.
All right. By the way, retroactively, because when we did this before, we were doing it in Fate.
Yes.
Can I retroactively grab what's handy and go to war?
Oh, right. What is the move for that? You can cobble together working weapons for you and your compatriots. A little more than spare parts. I hope for a better future. That's a fine turn of phrase. When cobbling together a weapon with available force, roll canny on 10 plus. Choose 3 advantages and 1 disadvantage. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. You can have grabbed. So you had put something together before you came into town.
All right, and I'm thinking it's just going to be some like easily concealable chain or something like that.
Figure out. Yeah. See what you roll first. Let's do that first. Let's figure out where we are.
7.
A 7. Okay. So on a 7, choose 2 advantages and 1 disadvantage.
All right, so I'm going to go for the base weapon of the 1 harm hand messy, and we're going to go with concealable and
non-energy. Well, no, it would be non-energy, sort of with whatever you're doing. Or you can make it. Make it energy. Make it energy. Make it energy.
I will make it energy.
Come on, yeah. Mount a battery pack to the handle. That's perfect.
Yep, and then for the disadvantage, we're going to give it
unreliable. If it's a big electrified chain you're swinging around, I want to go with unreliable.
Yeah, we'll go with unreliable.
Okie dokie. That's awesome. Okay, so why don't you act under pressure then? We have an we have an energy chain whip thing. Make sure you don't hit that button until you get it out from wrapped around underneath your coat.
Yep. And watch out for the drain pipe over there.
With the water in it. And the water on the ground.
Which one's act
And
under
the power
pressure?
lines overhead.
Act under pressure is cool.
Cool.
Be
Okay.
cool.
Yay! I'm marking experience.
Yeah, I want you to take Light Whip and combine that with like Luke Cage's belt from like the classic comics. You're marking XP?
Yeah, because oh no, wait.
No,
I was only looking at the dice. I wasn't looking at the result.
Oh, you got an 8. You're good.
Yep.
Ish. You're good-ish. Okay, so
So let's see. I have a worse outcome or hard choice.
right. Let me before we get quite there, back up. how are you? Well, I'm going to go. What is? I'll go through first. Are you going to Hesmet's aid?
As far as I know, I was still hanging out in the shop.
And you had gotten the radio call, and he's like, "I need some backup. I got some people that are going to try to mug me here. I want to kind of counter mug them."
Okay, I'd missed that part. Yeah, I'll show up for that.
All right. So you make your quick excuses. Alira's going to stay here because she's got the gear, and also she's not here. And I just rhymed a whole bunch. It was not intentional.
No fear.
Ghana, you were just leaving the hopelessly, almost dare I say, City of Heroes roleplay scene level of awkward dating / makeout set. No, not makeout session with.
I got booped on the nose. Yes.
And yeah, exactly.
You are so cute.
You are so cute.
God. And the droid, your new buddy, the droid, following with you.
Actually, I thought the droid was being wiped, and I was going to come back and pick it up.
You can, or you can have it with you. It's up to you. We can retcon a bit since you bought it, sort of, as a thing.
I'll have it with me then.
Okay. Come along,
R3.
R3. All right. Arthritis.
Artie.
I'm reading Catalyst right now, which is the tie-in novel that leads up to Rogue One. And the droid in there is a droid who helps you in science labs, and his name, as near as I can tell, I'm listening to the audiobook, not reading it, is Assist. And I'm like, okay, guys, seriously, this is a bit on the nose. Because he's the assistant droid. He assists. It's a little bit crazy. Anyway, so backup is moving. Are you hurrying, walking? Are you pell-melling through the street?
I will go as fast as Artie can keep up with me.
So a bit of a jog then?
Right, and then turning and going, come on.
So like me with my 3-year-old. Perfect. Backup, how are you proceeding?
Except Artie's actually following me and not
just stopping?
Not just stopping and wandering around and making incomprehensible noises.
Mine actually threw a Big Hero 6 quote at me last time I told her to hurry up. She stopped and said, "I am not fast." Like, no, you're not. Bill, sorry, backup. How are you proceeding?
It's freaking Hesmet. I'm running.
Oh, it's if he thinks it's going to be bad, it's probably going to be terrible. Okay. And Margie, are you proceeding? Now you're basically on the edge of the neighborhood for the sort of the transient neighborhood, where you figure your people might be. A little bit nervous, a little bit kind of butterflies in the stomach thing. Do you continue on, knowing that if you turn around, you may not have the guts to come back? Or do you take this as a welcome sort of delay in having to meet up with your people? Or something else?
I mean, how far am I from
there?
From there.
5 minutes at a run.
Okay. And who else is already on the way?
Backup has indicated that he's on the way, and so is Ghana. So
Hey, can I put on my suitcase stormtrooper armor?
suitcase. I'm going to assume that you've got like a point of armor underneath your jacket. You've got like a breastplate or something like that kind of thing, but not the truly heavy duty stuff, probably, because that would be a little bit.
But I thought everything was going to go down like that link that he put in the. Oh.
The what?
Oh, go look in the Roll20 chat.
Oh, I didn't. Like whip. Oh God. I didn't look.
That's okay.
Oh God. No. Only if it snaps back and hits you, because
It is dangerous.
I'm sure that you're toying with 6s. I'm sure there's one coming your way really soon. It is dangerous, and it is messy, and it is also unreliable. Messy and unreliable are two things you really don't. Messy is the tag, just so you guys know, that you put on things like dragon bites that rip people's legs off and stuff.
Yeah, everybody knows you've attacked somebody and they've been attacked.
Yeah, there's blood everywhere. It's not pretty. Okay. Ghana is a native Onderonian with a beat-up droid, hurrying, but not really hurrying through the city. I don't think she's necessarily drawing a lot of attention. Backup is running. He's armed, and he's big-ish. I'm gonna Backup. If you would roll act under pressure for me, a cool. This is a ooh. So you do not inadvertently draw any major attention while you're doing this, and you actually make great time. You've been taking. So is this dumb luck, or have you been studying maps of the city? Like
probably studying maps, or at least I have.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You specifically.
Follow the beeps.
Ghana knows the city, yeah, and you follow the beeps, but he also is. You get a couple of shortcuts there. There's some intel that you were given initially early on by the resistance as far as the guard patrols and stuff like that. You get there very clean. Akana, you're continuing into the neighborhood.
I'm assuming they can take care of themselves.
He's fine. He's
And
probably
really,
fine.
do I want to be there when it blows up?
To be perfectly honest, he's probably more of a danger to himself than the two guys that are about to ambush him.
Yeah. And then when you add the others into the mix.
I'm not. The question is, does Hesma get a +1 forward if the harm that he takes is from himself? That's. I don't know if you can just. I mean,
That's valid.
See, I was looking at the droid playbook that you have, and it's got a hidden compartment option for droids, but other people can presumably take this move if, for example, they have cybernetic limbs, which like every Force user in this universe eventually gets.
yes.
And I have to wonder, can you put a spare lightsaber in a hidden compartment?
Yes.
Only if you shoot it off into the sky for
That
some
would-
damage.
That would be amazing.
He just feels like. Wait a minute. And now we go. Okay, good. Or you could have the little thing where it kind of flips out. That'd be kind of cool. No, you could absolutely do that. That would be. I mean, honestly, there's no reason that. Honestly, if I had noticed that and I were you, Bill, I don't know if I would have been able to pass that up on backup right now because you have like what, 2 cybernetic limbs?
It's on my list.
Or 2, 3. You've got both legs, isn't it? And
Yeah.
your arm? Yeah. Oh yeah. I think that's definitely a to-do. All right. So backup makes really good time, and Hesmet, you so you step in there and you kind of like, you do the little thing like you're looking around like, oh, which way am I supposed to go? And kind of like you're looking at your like comm unit going, okay, did I get turned around kind of thing, and you feel that the light kind of changes as they step into the hall in the alleyway back there, and you hear somebody goes, and there he is. What do you do?
I think his bill will just be like, since he's looking at his comm unit, he's like, he's just like, hold on, guys. And he's just like trying to situate it up, and it's like, where did I make this wrong turn at? Just like not paying these guys any attention.
Okay. Are you trying to just keep them flat-footed on this thing, or?
I really want them to try and make the first move.
Okay.
So it's more of me just like, just giving them room to. In Hesman's mind, he's giving them the rope to hang themselves with.
I see. Okay. That's remarkably optimistic of you.
Mm-hmm.
Backup, because you rolled so well. You basically home in on this alley, and you don't see Hesmet going, but you see these 2 guys, like just go right in the alley, kind of like shoulder to shoulder, and pause and kind of, get themselves, sit your hands on hips kind of thing right there. And you hear, as you're about 20, 30 feet away, not even that far. They're about maybe 3 meters inside the alley, 10 feet. And you hear one of them say, "There he is." What do you do? They don't see, you're coming from completely out of their line of sight, really. Their attention's all on Hesmet.
Do I know their attention is on Hesmet, or do I know?
Oh, they're definitely, their focus is straight down the alley, and they're looking at the guy down the alley.
Okay, but I'm not sure that that's Hesmet because I didn't see him go in.
No, that's true. Although your comm unit being what it is, you're pretty sure you're pretty darn close. You could easily probably swing yourself out so you're looking straight into the alley and be able to see past them to see whether or not Hesmet's actually the person that they're talking to.
I'll take a peek around the corner and see what I can see. Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you roll assess the situation, which I think would be cool for you now because we have switched that around a bit.
All right. Mixed success.
Your move. Well, it's cool for you. Yeah. Rolls cool. 7 mixed success. Okay. All right. So you've got one hold there. You got a good question you want to ask off the assess list?
How are these guys vulnerable to me?
Oh, okay, so they're far enough inside the alley that you could probably step just inside the alley and just kind of slide your carbine out, a nice wide stun dispersal, and you drop them both right on, it'd be kneecaps, face, pavement, boom. Just easy peasy.
Okay. If I've got the initiative, or when I do, then I'll probably do that then.
Yeah, so you can see that thing. It's like, oh, this is actually going to actually work exactly the way Hesmet thought it was going to. This is amazing. So from the camera angle, actually, these guys step in, they see you kind of swing in, take a peek over. Yep, that's Hesmet. You see, the camera shot of the blaster coming out, and then a wider shot of the alley, and just this blue flash from inside, and a couple of boom. So Hesmet, you hear the blaster stun thing kind of go off, which you weren't expecting. You didn't hear them move. You're kind of waiting for them to make their move before you made your move. So you're kind of like, what the? And backup's standing there in silhouette at the head of the alley, already kind of tucking the carbine away. What do you do?
And so these two guys have already gotten taken down.
Yes.
Backup's over there, and I'm just gonna as soon as I look up from my comm and I see that they're down, I see him. It's just like, damn it, backup! I had a plan here.
Well, the plan could still be. Hang on a second. The plan could still easily be the same thing. It's just you pretend to be these guys bringing you in.
Well,
somebody pretends to be these guys bringing them in.
Well, I'm thinking back on it. It was originally going to be a Kana, since a space trader turning in a known criminal.
Sure,
not that unusual.
It still absolutely could be.
Yeah, but this is the part where Hesmet, just stepping over these guys, take one step on one of their backs to walk over them and everything, goes up to backup, is like, damn it, I had a plan here. Now you're going to have to punch me.
So what?
Hey, Doyce?
Yes? Now you're going to have to punch me. No questions. No nothing. All right, so Hesmet, you weren't exactly expecting that, so you take about a half step back. And because you weren't – there was like a minute where you're kind of already going over onto the pavement going, I didn't mean now, but – you don't,
No, I meant now.
Okay.
It was more like, I didn't think he was actually going to do it. I thought it was going to take more convincing.
First or something, yeah. The guy that you stepped over, you take like a half step back and your heel of your boot kind of catches on him, so you end up going over and land on the pavement. And you land there like, oh, okay. No, that was good. That was good. And you look to the side and you know this guy? That you're looking at, his name is Ruma, like R-U-M-A.
Ruma. All right.
which is weird. A little bit. He's not like, I don't mean like, no, like you knew him when you were kids, like you knew him like from a month ago. Like he's one of the resistance guys.
Huh.
So you kind of like look at the other guy, and that it's not a guy. Big woman, but her name's Leia or Leia. That's gonna be confusing. Let's throw an L in there just to make it
Layla. Yeah.
Layla. Also one of the resistance people.
Huh. So I think this is gonna be one of those things where he kind of notices them and he's like, ah, damn it! Now this isn't gonna work either.
And we're gonna. So yeah, I like the thing where you like look at both of them and go, huh. But anyway, so we're gonna cut to Akana. Oh, and just as you say that, and you realize what's going on, Ghana kind of trots up with the droid beeping behind her. What did I miss? I just kind of look at me.
Hey, resistance people.
Oh yeah, I forgot. She recognized them too.
Yeah. What did you do to them?
I completely forgot about that.
I'm just gonna I'll field this question. Hesman had a plan.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Okay.
They were trying to jump me.
They were following you. You ascribed motive that may or may not have been accurate.
No. This is still Hesmid. Like they were
trying
going to jump me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So I'm going to switch to Margie. So Margie needs to get back to where her mic will pick her up.
She is, but it's not picking up for some reason. Did you tap the mute button on there?
It's not muted. Try again, Margie. No? I summon tech support.
She's checking.
Game loading. Please wait.
All right, can you hear me now?
No.
Yes. Well.
No, only through my mic. It's
Oh.
not coming through my headphones.
Weird.
No.
No, that's mute on. That's mute off.
Mute on. Mute off.
Press your heads together and don't name.
Look, I found another good friend.
Noise.
Don't forget to breathe. Very important.
Bunch of teenagers over there.
I don't.
Let me just try closing and coming back in.
Okay.
It was working.
It reminds me of Dave shared not that long ago a picture of his and Margie's like wedding something, not the wedding, but like the
Yeah, it was like a wedding. It was a shower.
shower ahead of time, and
Click in that area.
his hair was almost as big as Margie's. Their hair was both their hair, and he had a ponytail. He was rocking an 80s ponytail. It would have been 80s.
No, 90s.
90s, early 90s.
Mid 90s.
Really? Huh. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. You're right. Of course, you're right. But yeah, I haven't seen that picture in a coon's age. I liked your comment though. Own it. Own it.
Yep.
Okay. Is Margie?
She's.
All right. She's coming back.
All right, can you hear me now?
No.
No. Oh, good grief. Come on, Google. What the hell, man?
Unplug and replug.
I did that.
Yeah. Wonder if, okay, hang on. Maybe I did something.
Well,
No.
you just muted her.
Yeah, but I should be able to unmute her. And okay, there. Now the mute thing is gone. Try again, Margie.
Nope, she's not.
Good grief.
I don't think it's you. Our Hangouts. I think it's.
Hang on, let me look at the control. Let me. What? Wait.
You have multiple windows open? Oh.
Reconnect for a second, and I want to see if this. I've got this control room app that lets me like add on to this thing that lets me control everybody's.
All right. Can you hear me now?
No.
Little.
I can't mute you. That's weird.
Your voice.
Okay, that's weird. When she's talking, she is getting the little green pips popping up, but she can't hear you now.
And everything's frozen for me.
And now you've frozen.
How about
Okay,
now?
Let me try this one more time.
I can hear you, but your picture's frozen. Nope,
That's
she's
weird.
exiting back out. I think it's not to suggest that it might be a Chrome session with too many tabs open, but
Hey.
Oh. Of all the people in the world, not to throw stones in a glass house, Dave.
hey, when the fav icons vanish from the tabs, I know I need to open a new window. So
Right. I have this thing called favorites, bookmarks. I don't know if you've heard of them. To-do lists.
no, we can't hear you, dear.
Well,
My recommendation is going to be exit out of Chrome, restart your machine.
all right. We'll let Margie do that, and we'll do something. Something high tech. I'm a high tech techie person. We're going to do something else. All right. As much as I would love the dramatic cutaway from Hesmet,
It was merely a cut to commercials.
it was a cut to commercial. And we're back, which means that she's going to get the whole B plot, like second or last third of the episode, right? Just cut to her, and nobody knows what happens to the rest of the group. Okay, so Dave, I'm assuming you wrote their names now because I've already forgot. I remember Layla. I don't remember the other one.
Yes, it was
Ravi?
Layla and
Rava, Raha,
Ruma.
Ruma. All right. Hesmet, what are you doing with these yahoos?
Well,
I can hear you now.
yay!
Can you hear me?
Yay!
I hear her.
All right. We will cut to Margie.
Okay.
Before I lose her again?
Yeah,
It'll give me time to think of what I'm going to do with these yahoos.
All right. Excellent. With that done, then let's. Okay, so you're going through this area, and it's not. This is easily the most cosmopolitan area of the city. It's the least Onderonian.
Okay.
Really,
Makes sense.
People from all over. Think, I don't know, Harlem in the 20s.
Shanghai.
Shanghai, even better. Yeah, I think that's actually more appropriate. Just in terms of that sort of, there's a lot of different weird stuff going on here. It's a little bit more low key because it says empire held. Nobody really wants to draw attention to themselves, but so you get the sense of people are watching themselves, but it's definitely, it's not. Shanghai's much better than Harlem because you don't have kids rolling around really very much. It's a lot more traders. It's a lot more sort of a Mos Eisley
Got it.
vibe in the smaller area. A lot of people who know each other and don't know anybody else, and the people that they know they trust, and the people that they don't know they don't trust. What do? Look for recognizable ship styles, or I guess maybe flags, or.
Well, I'm going to take a general circuit, like so state of a main drag, trying to make just sort of a square or rectangle or whatever it is. Sort of getting oriented to how things are set up, where the gathering spots are, the local bars or markets, and what type of people are at them. So
Okay.
can I, identify the appropriate, likely venue?
Yeah. Why don't you? Well, let me look at your sort of class move first, because I think that's going to come up, but I don't know if it necessarily is the first thing to come up. When you visit a new place, you can play your friends there and roll with cool. Okay. You're doing on this a little bit ahead of, you're doing a little bit of prep work to this. So I'm going to have you roll your canny. Not really knowing what that is, but roll your canny for assess, because you're kind of reading this,
Okay.
basically the neighborhood and that kind of thing. And it may or may not, if you get something, then it'll kind of roll forward a little bit for you. Ooh, a 5. Okay.
Life is complicated.
Well, life is complicated. But hey, mark XP.
I was gonna say, do I get an XP for
Yeah.
complicated?
Yeah, 6 or less, you get the XP.
Okay.
That gang of people over there, holding knives and spikes look awfully friendly.
No.
Yeah. No.
And
No.
plus
I think what we're going to lead towards is another experience point, which is your desire for recognition draws unwanted attention.
Okay. So you're going around. You're not so much like taking quiet lay of the land as sort of dropping your name and saying what clan you're with, and that sort of follows in a you're dropping hints. So you're doing it in all the right places, but it definitely doesn't end up going exactly the way you want. So tell me about. So you got your clan. I think I at least in my head, I have something of a picture of them. Tell me about a clan that you are technically, cousins with, but are not remotely friendly with.
Well, there is the part of the clan that went off and actually decided to train with to trade with the Hutts in a more symbiotic fashion, in a closer relationship than any of the rest of the family would feel comfortable with.
So they really embrace the Hutt space thing, and at the same time they get to travel throughout the rest of the space. So the Hutts have been using them sort of as traders, maybe even spies out in Empire space.
Well, there are some rumors about that.
Sure.
But
Sure.
I mean, at the very least, they've in terms of sort of the family culture, they've aligned themselves with groundies, and that's just not usually a good thing.
What's the sanction been like from the rest of the family for them doing this? Are they completely cut off? Are they not invited to the gatherings? Are they invited to the gatherings, but they get the bad seats at the foot of the table kind of thing?
I would think that since this is actually more of a thinking of it from a trade perspective, they don't get the same family discount.
They're like outsiders then, really.
Well, but better than outsiders, but there's usually more suspicion over them than there would be, the rest of the family, and
Sure.
so their goods aren't always taken at face value, and sometimes the price is less than a family price.
It's almost a bit of an insult.
Well, yeah, probably, but it's not like it can be waived under as business, not as family, if that makes sense.
Sure.
They're family, they're just not family that you trust with your car keys.
Oh man, now I'm getting flashbacks. Trigger warning. So you're actually like going down the street and sort of winding your way through the crowd, and you bump up against someone kind of unexpectedly. They kind of zig when you should have zagged kind of thing. And you realize you're looking at the sash and scarf vest kind of combo of your clan, like just like and you're not as tall as some of your kin, but this person, whoever you bumped into, is particularly tall. What is more striking about them is they're very sturdy. I mean, your folks living in space tend to be much more
Light.
Yeah, light. I don't want to say elven, but certainly you don't. Why be at one full G if you don't have to? Not all the time. I mean, that's just. I mean, honestly, you've already been on this planet longer than you really feel super comfortable with. This person wearing your stuff is thick, kind of Dolph Lundgren, circa
Kind of
Rocky.
Hut-like?
No, not Hut-like. Just really big and strong and heavy and muscular. This is a guy who spends a lot of time in a gravity well, and he's dressed in your attire, and he's got the facial features, and you don't recognize him. He's younger than you, and what's your, I guess, your branch of the family? Is it matriarchal, patriarchal? How does that shake out? Who's the head of your part of the family? An aunt, an uncle, a mom, a dad, grandma?
Well, I don't have any parents, so it's
right.
Yeah, so my side of the family is actually somewhat patriarchal,
Okay.
just by not necessarily by long tradition, but by its current tradition.
Sure.
Which is one of the reasons why I have the, I'll show them, kind of attitude.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So it's not just getting away from the family and showing them that I can do well. It's doing it as, an orphan female.
I see. Okay. So what's your, then, I'm going to say uncle? What's your uncle's name that sort of runs the one that you're kind of showing up most of the time?
Right. So that would be
It's gonna be real time. All right. So this guy kind of sneers, and now I can't get. This is the problem with having just recently watched Arrow. I can't get that guy's Dolph Lundgren's face out of my head. But he gets that. He gets that "I will break you" kind of sneer on his face as he's looking down his nose at you. You're one. You said Barrier was the guy's name.
Barrier.
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 You're one of Barrier's little girls. What are you doing here? And he says, he wouldn't call it the clan. Bavata family is the only one that deals in Onderon. And Bavata family is the family that,
right.
These guys that deal with the huts and stuff like that. Bhavata for those typing keywords.
How rude can I be?
Well, there's
Based on your record?
Hey,
you could
I am
go,
not the rude one.
I mean, you're not, unless these guys have really gone off the reservation, they're not, and that's objectionable.
No, I mean, so he's talking more rude than I would talk to him, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're not being welcoming, certainly, but the history wouldn't necessarily indicate they could be. You could certainly respond in kind and you'd be fine. It's possible it will work to your advantage. They're probably not going to attack a family member, no matter how rude you are. They might forcibly show you the exit of the entire neighborhood, but they wouldn't necessarily.
No, I think I'll go with something a little bit more neutral, but not cowing down at all.
No, and
it's sort of but I'm sort of going to say, well, something along the lines of, "Well, cousin, I didn't know you were here. Won't bother you now."
Well, there's also the fact that he's sort of assigning you to your uncle's family, and you're really not that now. So it's within your right to take umbrage at that to a certain extent. The fact that you're working on your own is, as you've said, is sort of a point of pride. So there may be also that to push back with. I mean, you're not disowning your
I didn't
family.
leave on bad terms with the family.
No.
So I think it's more. I would react more like a clansman of the family than I would as, an independent. Although the girl thing probably raised my
blood pressure a little bit. Well, to be fair, there are more female captains in that part of the family than there are male captains. So to say that one of his girls is a bit of a hurting effect, but it's not
not as demeaning.
It's not wrong necessarily. Although it's weird that he's treating it like it's some sort of weird thing, because generally gender doesn't really come up as a pro or a con when you're in space and piloting ships. So it's not like.
Hello, cousin. How you've grown.
Snorts a little bit. I'm not sure. Do you know this guy? You recognize this guy at all? Or
no, it's just a generic how you've grown, as in like
traditional
kind of. Didn't know you were in the neighborhood.
Where is the rest of the family? How did you draw the short wrench to come down? To be sent down with all the rest of the low people. And he's clearly looping himself into this, that he feels like his intimation here is that your family just automatically thinks of them as just ground pounders at this point.
I fly where I will. I just have business here today.
You fly where you will. You have business. You don't have any other. We should go someplace to talk.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Well, he's not gonna talk family business out in the middle of the street. I mean, that's fine. He's not looking as dangerous as he did 5 minutes ago. So well, he's somewhat. I mean, you're somewhat comforted, if nothing else, by the fact that he at least has enough.
Has no clue what's going on.
Well, he has enough and he has enough recognizable sort of family instinct going on that he's still not going to air family business out in front of everybody.
Okay.
So there's that going on as well. So that's recognizable family attitude, which makes it a little bit more comforting.
I wave my hand to have him lead on. Where does he take me?
He's going to take you to somewhere between. It's like take the cantina, cut it in half, make it sort of a hookah bar. And,
oh, great! We're in Ireland.
Sure, there are hookah bars in Ireland.
No, I'm just thinking of all the smoky pubs.
Oh, sure, yeah. But yeah, definitely that.
Can I palm to breathe? Things to shove up my nose as.
Oh, is this
the nasal equivalent of gas masks?
Sure. I mean, if you got that handy, they doesn't seem to bother him, and he's got like 2 or 3 other people with him.
Okay.
One woman, 2 guys. They kind of go out, and he kind of chin nods at the guy behind the bar and tucks over into a booth and motions you in. The woman sits down with you, which doesn't. It's interesting. Certainly not culturally required with your family or anything like that. If you're not here with the family and you're here on your own, what is how do you? He's trying to figure out how he can ask if you've been exiled without asking if you've been exiled. You can just, that would be the first thing that would occur to somebody knowing that you're out traveling on your own. And you're not like on like sort of that initial coming of age walkabout where you leave, you know, on
Right.
the
I'm not old enough to be on my own in the traditional family sense.
Well, and you don't have a crew with you, so you're not on your own in that way. And you're too old to be the person who gets sent off on their walkabout where they leave on a tramp fader and come back with their own ship, which you've already done. So you're in this weird middle ground where you really, it's quite unusual. So that's where he's headed with
it's not like I want him to meet any of my crew.
Do you want him to awkwardly continue to try to figure out how to answer this, or do you want to interrupt him and just kind of jump to the chase?
I'll just say, no, I'm just independent spirited.
Aren't we all? And there's a couple of people like, from a couple of places around. The woman doesn't do that. She picks up a little kind of a shot glass kind of thing and takes a sip, but she doesn't really respond to that necessarily.
But she's not family?
She's family, but she's not. She's definitely playing it very close to the vest, and that she's watching, and she's watching the guy as much as he's watching her. She's a little bit older too, probably 10 years older than he is, 5 years older than you.
Is she as heavily built?
No.
Does she look more spacefarer?
Yeah, she's more spacefarer. She's definitely been in a gravity well quite a bit, but this guy, you'd almost bet he was born on planet somewhere. Right. And based on his build, maybe one of the hut worlds. The gravity's pretty serious there. It's one of the reasons your family doesn't really like dealing with the huts, because they like meeting you face to face. They don't like doing comms, and going down to a hut planet is just plain uncomfortable for you guys. So you're down here on your own, free spirit, doing a little bit of business, but leaving your name around and looking for family, and you find us. How very interesting. How very
ironic.
Well, before he finishes that sentence, I'm going to have you roll you're cool for friends everywhere, because I'm curious how he's going to finish that sentence.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I am cools.
You are cool. All right. When you visit a new place, you can declare that you have friends there and roll with cool. On a hit, your friends are well positioned to help you out with something. On a 10 plus, their help comes cheap. Oh, you lucky. On the 7 to 9, their help will cost you something. On a miss, your old friends have become new enemies. Bummer. All right. I don't know if this guy's about ready to say something mean and he gets interrupted by somebody else who is very well disposed to you, or if he decides this kind of thing. So you think about that.
I think that somebody should interrupt him.
Okay.
But I don't know that they necessarily have to be friends with me. They just maybe don't necessarily like him.
There's a line from Hamilton. It's like, you know, they don't have to like me. They don't like you. It's how Aaron Burr gets his first Senate seat. Anyway, think about that.
Okay.
Some deets and stuff, and I'm going to cut away to Alir, who is here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so you were okay. So Hesmond called for help, but you had all the stuff that you guys had bought at the trash shop. You're back in the city. We've jumped. We were in the past for the flashback to the village thing, and now it's a couple weeks later, and we're back to the city that we actually started playing in 2 months ago. So we're back to that droid kind of junk shop thing where you were looking through stuff. And Hesmet said, hey, I'm about to be mugged by some guys. Can you come help me not be mugged? And Backup took off at a run because it's Hesmet. And when he says it might be bad, it's probably going to be horrible. And you kind of had like all the stuff that you had arranged for in the shop run by, starts with a K. Help me. Help me. You're not going to help, but somebody else might remember. Dave, what was the name? It was a K. We need to get it in this
That
week's
would have
log.
been.
I should have written it down.
I'm just trying to find it here. I've got the post-it, but I'm just trying to spot it.
We need to get it.
Kavya.
Kavya.
Kavya Slan.
Slan. Right, Kavya Slan. So Kavya, she was the one who like apparently used to date a clone and who abandoned her or stayed with the troop, stayed with the clones or something like that when they disbanded and something and had kind of a extreme reaction to seeing Backup. So Backup took off. You got all the stuff and you kind of there. And what do you do? Kavya is still there and looking a little bit, well, she's eyeing you a little bit, trying to figure out what your deal is because, you know, you're obviously not his. So what are you, his daughter?
No. We're close friends.
Now she looks, what do you mean? How, like close?
No.
Okay. So you're, okay. You're, I mean, it's fine. It's none of my business. I haven't met a clone who isn't like attached to the clones ever or would leave a clone ever. And just, I thought I kind of understood them, even though they just, you know, kind of infuriating a little bit. She drops a wrench kind of on the thing, but apparently I don't understand them at all, or some of them. So I'm just, you know, a little curiosity, don't mean to pry. You know, they could have friends and brotherhood, got to be with their brothers. So what's your deal? Are you like tech support? Like is mechanic? I mean, do you work on his legs or something?
No. Though. No, I work with him dealing with technical stuff.
Okay. So you're all right. So fine. What's he like? It's kind of hard to say. And I'm trying to, the fact that this woman who is like so awkward about this is asking Alir for social insight into anybody, tickles me just to no end. And Alir is like apparently floored.
I'm waiting to hear something like, I can help you surreptitiously plug into his brain.
But there's Alir. It's like, first you put me in the jungle. Now you ask me questions about people's personality. Come on, give me something I can work with here. Anyway. So Alir, what's he like? I would love to hear this. Does Alir have a bond?
Back? Yeah, I'm here.
No, I'm just looking to see if you had a bond with Backup.
Yeah.
You do. You're working on a private tech project for him that he doesn't necessarily know about. All right. We were discussing before you got here, the ability to take an advance from other playbooks would allow Backup to buy an advance of a secret compartment for one of his cybernetic limbs, grabbing it from the droid playbook. But anyway, That's neither here nor there at this point in time. So, what's he like?
Backup is strong. He's the person who really keeps our group together.
I like how you're tap dancing around team, squad, mission,
Rebellion.
Oh, so he's like the leader. He doesn't take orders from somebody else, and ants be like listen to them unswervingly, regardless of other people that he might care about.
Well, I don't like to brag.
He listens to Hesbit when Hesbit says this is about to go bad, but that's really more of that's like a canary in the coal mine sort of reaction, more than taking orders from anybody.
He's the person who makes sure all of us get out of problems in one piece.
Huh. He said you call him backup?
Guardian angel.
Guardian angel. You guys you call him
Guardian angel with explosives.
It's not grenades. I guess it's explosives. Huh.
Yeah, we call him backup.
Well, I guess that suits. Sort of. They all have their own little modes, I guess. Well, that's really interesting. So we're. There's a lot there for you to carry. You got any way to get this wherever you're going? Transport or anything?
I don't know. Do we? How did we get?
You guys came in was it like multiple speeders? Didn't you bring speeder bikes in? I think you did, didn't you? There was some joking about bringing the AT-AT into the city. I don't think that was probably going to happen. So I think it was just a couple of the speeder bikes.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Or was it the shuttle?
No, we didn't bring the shuttles.
We
Too
didn't bring the shuttles.
recognizable. But I thought that we had something that was more like, not like a truck, but.
No, I don't think.
Okay. No, because what's her name usually brings the supplies out.
Yeah, she brings the supplies out, and she's got more of like a hover truck kind of a thing. I'm thinking of like a hover, like her thing is like a hover truck version of like a hovering version of like those trucks with no nose and the cab all the way forward, and it's just something with a flatbed behind it. Anyway, things. All right. Well, if you got to go, I can hold this stuff here. I can watch it if you want to go, or whatever. If you think he's going to come, is he going to come back?
Depends on how much trouble Hesmit is in.
Is he getting in a lot of trouble?
Yes.
Okay then.
But then again, what's the 15-year-old's version of trouble?
Well, I don't want to. You don't need to stay here unless you want. You can. It's fine. I'll just. I've got stuff I need to do. I don't need to be in here. Just. She kind of had her world rocked a little bit, so she's kind of. I'm just gonna go. I gotta do some stuff upstairs. If anybody comes in, I'll hear it. I got like a little sensor on the door. It'll be fine. You can stay or go. It's fine. We already settled up here. I'm just gonna go.
Okay.
This is total like over dramatic, angry 40-something, and a 15-year-old's like whatever, 15 to 18-year-old kind of I guess. Sure.
Work on your slouch, girl.
Aaliyah, what do you do? So back off to help Hazmat. There's been a little bit of chatter on comms. Back up, Hazmat's like, okay, they're here, guys. Where are you? Hazmat's like, I'm on your, I'm on your location. And there's sort of a pause, and you hear Ghana say, "Oh, what did you do?" And then the comms kind of cut out, or get shut off. Akana's not talking. She doesn't need to be on comms, really.
Would it be possible for me to would there be any sort of cameras or video feed?
Oh
near
yeah,
where-
there's like a sort of a customer's terminal. It's an old one, but you really only need the connection because you've got your own terminal.
Yeah, I have my portal terminal.
Yeah, so you can just it's actually a typo on my. It was meant to be portable.
Yeah, I was just fixing that.
Meant to. I like portal terminal. It's
I
really cool.
like the idea of a portal terminal.
Portal terminal. Boosh. That's
Yeah,
a
it allows me to just go from one space to another.
different game, but still very cool. Yeah, you can dig around in there, look for something, do a little searching for whatever.
A feed to see how much trouble they're in.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, there's no fire in the Southern District.
Darn it!
Fire.
Can I use the fire suppressant anyway?
Oh, I mean, maybe.
As entire neighborhoods fill up with foam.
In my free time, I just hack into Empire
Systems.
ships and set off the fire suppressant.
They have a nickname for her. It's like, oh no, the fireman has struck again. It's like, cool. They have a name for me. It's like they call on Lothal, all the stormtroopers call Sabine the artist, which I think is cool. All right, so I think, let me look at your little thing here. Lear, hit the custom portal terminal. You can hit the dirt crate without ever leaving your base of operations. Okay, so go ahead and roll Canny as you check out the system. You're doing a sort of an assess kind of deal. And 10. Oh my goodness. All right, so if you look at on the like sort of list of handouts and stuff there on the second tab, I think it's the second tab. Under basic moves, there's assess. And you have a special little thing with your black hat, or sorry, can't stop the signal. When you check out a scene from inside the system using the terminal, ask one additional question. So you've got a list of stuff here, and you got a 10, so you get 3 hold. You really have 4 hold, which means you've got 4 questions there that you can check out with regards to the system and or the city kind of infrastructure or intranet, I guess internet or holonet, local holonet.
Internet.
Yeah, but just the local one for the city, that kind of thing. So there's questions that you could go ahead and, so you're doing hacking and get an idea of the question you want to ask. You can hold these for a while if you want. You don't need to ask them all at once, but you can certainly start digging for some stuff. And then when the questions seem like, hey, I want an answer to this thing right now, throw them at me because you've got them. And I'm going to jump back over to Hesmet and Backup in Ghana. Hesmet and Backup in Ghana.
Oh,
So,
Wait,
yes?
can I ask a question that's not part of these questions?
No. For that you need, for that
I
you
don't
need,
mean like a question about the
oh,
scene.
I
but-
see. Just a question. Yes. Bayab, yes. What's
So
the
you
question?
said that there was like fuzziness on the communications. Did they completely go down?
Oh, on the local comms? No, you don't. I mean, their comm units are still sending like passive signals. They're still linked. They just shut off the mics. Probably because Ghana was, well, if you were going to guess, you'd say Ghana was scolding somebody, or at least emphatically asking. Yeah, exactly.
And Ghana actually thinks that turning the mic off makes a friggin' difference to a Lear?
No, fact, if you really want to, you can use one of your hold to flip the comm units back on if you really want to, or at least passively turn on the mic so you can listen in. That's your choice. Okay, so back over to, was that the only question that you had right then?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so back to Ghana and Hesmet and backup. You guys kind of have moved these guys just a little bit, kind of behind a couple of, like a sort of a dumpster, just so they're out of line of sight if somebody might be walking by. Although if they see 3 people in the alley and 2 people laid out, they're just going to like probably look the other way because you're probably mugging them and they don't want to get involved with that kind of stuff. But the worst thing would be somebody who does want to get involved with that kind of stuff would probably be the last person you want to deal with right now. So, and they're stunned, so they're not out for too long, but they kind of like, as you're moving, and they're like, oh God. You get him kind of propped up and kind of, hey, wake up, wake up. So they're kind of groggily coming to. Hesmet, what do you do?
So, now that, we know these guys, or at least I know them and Ghana knows them. And,
Yes.
it's kind of like, Hesmet's biggest concern right now is, just like, damn it, I let backup punch me for no good reason now.
That was a great reason, actually.
The reason was good. It's no longer relevant, but it's still excellent reason.
So so he's just like probably angrily pacing around, because this is more Ghana's thing anyway.
All right, so Ghana,
Ghana, you got my back. Go.
They're coming too. What do you do?
Ruma, Layla.
Oh, you're
David,
not,
we're not hearing you.
Mike.
Ruma, Layla, what's going on?
What? Oh, Ghana, what do you do? Where's Hesmet? He was. All right, so he's over. What? Who stunned us? Did you stun us? Why did you stun us? Oh God!
Yeah, why did you do that?
It gives me such a headache in the back of my head. Right.
From the background, it's like Hesmet just shouts out for no good. It's just like not even looking at him. It's like, why were you guys trying to mug me?
We weren't mugging. Why did you think you were? We were looking for. We saw you. We're trying to catch up to you. We were supposed to be trying to catch. We're supposed to try to catch up to you. We're supposed to talk to you. We had a message for you. God. Oh. You guys have any juice? Like water or anything? Oh, it feels like my brain's too big for my skull. Anything? Water? Canteen? Anybody?
Hesmet just looks across at him.
Backup? You got a canteen? You got a canteen handy?
I'll give him a drink.
Oh yeah. So yeah, backup. Of course, you got a canteen handy. It's backup. Oh God, thank you. Oh God, who are you? You must have stunned us. All right.
So what were you guys doing following
Saw
Hesmet?
wants to talk to you guys. He knows you're working with, these guys, and there's a thing he wants to talk to you guys about. There's a thing that we want to get your help with. And so we went for the person who was like one of us that would obviously recognize us and know that we were friendly, so that we could
do not lurk on guys who are walking through back alleys unless you want to be dealt with.
We announced us. We said, there he is. Do you remember?
That could be a very threatening. There he is.
I mean, they could be like, there he is. Get him,
dude.
Or, there
I'm
he
a
is.
very dangerous man. I have a large bounty on my head.
Every
sneaking up on people.
Every single Sabak game you ever walked into, you walk in and everybody goes, there he is. Wait. Oh.
That implies that I was paying attention.
Oh, you are so damaged. Oh. All right. As soon as I can stand up with it. Okay, first of all, so Saw wants to talk to you. Can we take you to meet with Saw or are you going to shoot us some more? Because I'd like that not to happen. And
So there's an option, though.
if you don't want to go see Saw, I'm just going to pretend I didn't see you because I don't want him yelling at me right now because this. And
Well, I think we should go see Saw.
Okay.
okay, what was I looking up? I was looking something up. Oh, I remember. I'm looking in the wrong place. Okay, so Saw, your contact on the planet, wants to meet with you, and people are
You made a big fuck up of it.
well, you know, yeah, pretty much.
They made the worst decision of trying to find me.
Well, I'll agree with you there.
They would have been perfectly happy to find Ghana. Instead, they saw you first. They were probably like, "Oh God, it's Hesman."
While this is going on, I'm going to radio anybody else and just be like, hey, the Resistance wants a meeting. Please rendezvous.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to cut back to. So Alir, unless you got questions, you're looking at that list and keep those in mind. I'm going to jump back over to Akana real quick and see what happened. How did that sentence finish, Akana?
Oh, I get to tell the story?
Well, I want to know who's interrupting, and yeah, that's why I give you enough time to think of it, so I could do something else.
So
At least tell me who steps in and does the deed or interrupts and stuff, and just tell me who that is.
I'll say that it's another family member that's senior to this
Both of
Yehu.
them? To both of them, including
Yeah.
the woman there. Woman, guy, yet to be determined.
Female.
Female. Okay, so probably I'm gonna say Ooh, you know what? Hang on. We're gonna look at. Wow, that came in big. All right, that's fine. We're gonna go back over here, and I'm just gonna. Sure. Yeah. What a good picture for her. She'll be relevant for a while. Yeah, that'll work. Lack of heavy gravity has been nice to her. So it's hard to tell, and picture's up. It's kind of hard to tell with your people because between the low gravity and stuff like that, but she's 40s or 50s, probably 50s. Carries it well. So he was about to say, that's really, and she goes, the perfect opportunity. And what was his name? Garish, thank you very much for bringing our cousin in. You may go. And he starts to go, and she just kind of raises an eyebrow at him. And the woman doesn't move. The younger woman who's older than him does not move, but she moves over. She doesn't leave, but she moves over, and the other woman settles herself down very, sort of carefully across from you. Looks at you for quite some time. She's definitely not heavy world. I mean, as old as she is, that wouldn't have been this. I'm assuming this break wasn't generations ago.
Okay.
Don't take this the wrong way. You're the orphan? You're
I'm orphaned.
the orphan. I remember. Your parents were good people. From what I remember, I was young back then. But they were good. You're out here on your own, girl. That's of some benefit to us if you want to make it of some benefit. What were you looking for here in the traveler's market? Were you looking for were you looking for us?
I'm looking for trade. I, of course, thought to start with family first.
Of course. So you didn't know it would be us?
No.
Is it a problem that it's us?
No.
It's not a problem for us either.
Like I told your nephew, I am very independent.
And she kind of, you can kind of see her doing the math in her head of,
How old I am?
Well, how old you are, you're the orphan. She knows that. The other guy would never have known that. They're kind of just sort of figuring a lot of that stuff out. And what did you say your uncle's name was? Barish?
Bahir.
Bahir? Oh. Bahir is still in charge?
Actually, I haven't left that long ago, right?
Yeah, no, not that. A couple years, maybe, if that. And you've been in touch, but you'd know if he wasn't. I mean, word would have been sent. And she just kind of nods, like that just makes that much more sense in her little mental picture of what's going on.
Okay, I'm glad it makes sense to somebody.
Well, but here's the kind of guy who, I mean, he's at least part of the reason that you decided to go off on your own. Mm-hmm. He's
a guy.
Well, he's Bahir. Okay, so you're looking to get something, trade something away, or bring something in, or just looking for opportunities?
Right now, I'm just looking for opportunities. I will likely have the.
And we can kind of retcon a little bit of stuff in here, a little bit also, because we've got some of the stuff in the base that you may or may not need, which you probably need. But you also have some portion of the stuff that the Black Sun guys had on their ship.
Right. But I also, originally we were talking about this because it meant that I had an opportunity to make some money by trading off-world while we were, moving things off-world for other reasons. So I was going to approach it as, I will likely have an opportunity to move some cargo on and off-world in a discreet fashion.
She says, your ship's not in dock in the city. And it's not a question, it's a statement. Doesn't surprise you that she'd know. You have a way of, you can undock and nobody here in the customs is going to see that, right? We don't have that benefit right now, and that may be of some use to us. And you don't seem to have a problem working with your cousins. Considering the fact that
my feud is not with you.
Considering
I have no feud with you.
Yeah, that's fair. Considering the fact that you met, it's terrible.
Unless they all have the manners of your nephew.
No, and considering you met him first and you're still willing to talk to us, I consider that to be a fine, good sign. Don't get me wrong, he has his uses, but diplomacy is not one of them. He does not negotiate deals.
I nod my head slightly to her.
He learned the finer points of negotiation from Nar Shaddaa, which is one of the hut worlds. It kind of rolls her eyes. So it will benefit us more if we're not seen together too much, because you won't be associated with us, and therefore no eyes will be on you. The Empire.
I'm not in town very much, so that should not be a problem.
And she looks at you like, all right.
I do not intend to be seen about town much. How's that? Is that a better way of putting it?
No, that's fine. I will make arrangements the next time you are back in the city. It'll be fine. Come here, and by the time you make it here, I'll know that you're here, and I'll have some information for you. You may not see me again, or you might. I'm not sure how the situation will work out. It's the Empire doesn't like any one of us to stay here for long, although they've gotten accustomed to seeing at least some of us around most of the time. So it may or may not be me. It depends on what our rotation is like when you're back. But this could be good for all of us. This could.
Well, it is always a pleasure doing business with family.
It is, and it's a rare pleasure these days for me. Hanita, and she, would it be a handshake? What would it be? More of a bow, thing off the top of the head, or?
Yeah, sort of a,
Like a
hand flip off the top of the head.
Yeah.
Both parties check their wallets.
A thank you that ends in a little heart. I don't know. Kind of thing.
Only with the lira.
Okay, so yeah, Hanita. I'm picking mostly, for whatever reason, I'm picking mostly Hindi names for your people.
That's fine. All the apostrophes, kind of work.
Yeah, sure. All right, so with that, and it would be best if you're out of here before the next patrol comes through. They don't come often, but when they do come, they stay too long. So
I would still like to pick up some purchases for my reason for being here. Is there a market that you would recommend that I should shop at?
she gives you both the market and a stall and a name.
Okay.
To a name to mention, to introduce yourself to, and also her name to mention. And once she determines what it is you're actually looking for, or whether you're looking for anything specific or just general goods, but something.
Right now, I'm just looking for an excuse to be here.
Right.
So something that I would find here that I wouldn't find elsewhere.
Okay. Oh, you mean in the neighborhood? Sure.
Oh, actually, there is something that I'm looking for.
Yes.
I'm looking for some
parts for a ship.
No, I'm
They got a
actually
lander
looking.
drop.
I have an interest in some
Nuclear vessels.
some clone armor. Nothing big, just something interesting.
Clone armor
Yes.
from the war. That you won't find here, but it'll be here the next time you come.
So Joyce, this is what I'm looking for.
Bloop. I heard a bloop. Oh dear. Oh God.
Not all of it, just a piece of it.
Well, any particular piece?
Something rare. Something
Okay.
interesting.
Okay. All right. I will
Useful.
I will fiddle. I will see what I can find. She's got stuff. Basically, she has something that would work, but it's not here. It's basically, you would imagine it's on one of their ships or something like that, but they can get it down. If that's what you're looking for, we can.
In the meantime, I should pick up some dates and olives, which is
easy enough.
trade slang for, trade goods.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know.
Absolutely. All right, so you can go pick up some stuff, and then when you pick up a few things, the call comes. It's like we have a, Saw Guerrero wants to meet with us, and you make your way back to basically the speeders. Alir, did you have questions you wanted to ask you can save this stuff for the city because it's still going to be relevant later. Or you can ask anything that you want to know about what's going on in the city right now based on that list, if you'd like, before we move to the next thing, which is going to be also where we kind of wrap up. Are you on mute?
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I know. I understand. I miss push to talk.
What potential complication do I need to be wary of?
Okay. Well, that's a couple of good ones. There are the comm chatter around the city is that there was recently, okay, so the patrol activity in the city is a little bit higher than normal. There was a underground, well, I guess it's kind of redundant. There was some sort of major tremor about a week ago that, I mean, that sort of thing happens. People didn't think it was a big deal. The Imperials, who really should be kind of used to it by now, sort of really overreacted to it from everybody else's point of view. There have been a lot more patrols. There have been even some of the patrols from some troops have been brought down from the Admiral's fleet to kind of add to things. So there have been a lot more people active a lot more wall patrols and that sort of thing. So, and it's been just very unusual. You're not getting Imperial chatter, you're getting local chatter. A lot of people who are, the various little, somewhat anonymous, chats for the local hackers, just whoever happens to be using the networks and that sort of thing. It's like, I don't know. It was just like, I mean, it wasn't even that big of a tremor. I mean, my grandma didn't even lose the picture off her wall, kind of stuff. And that thing always falls when there's that kind of thing. And why are they reacting so much? So that's the kind of stuff you're picking up. So certainly two complications there. A, more Imperial activity than the norm, and also some sort of weird reason for that you're not clear on. So there's one of yours. You still have three more that you can kind of keep in your back pocket based on, digging around that you're doing and stuff. But you yank your terminal out. Do you say anything or shout anything before, upstairs before you head out, or you just go?
I think I shout up saying, I'll be back. Need to quick go.
Okay. Just kind of so socially suave. All right. So you guys head back to your the speeders. The other two also have sort of nondescript speeders. The most stressful thing about this is leaving the city because the gates are watched by troopers, and you got a couple of resistance guys, you got a couple of rebellion guys. But you came in, now you're leaving. You have the droid that you came for, kind of thing. Your purpose for entering the city seems to be pretty on the up and up. Margie's got a couple of crates of stuff, and that sort of thing. You're heading back out, and things. So they give you a couple of good hard looks. There's been there's pat downs and stuff, but you're being armed when you're heading out into the jungle is not that big a deal. One of them kind of gives a side eye to backups, breastplate, but whatever. Scavenged is as scavenged does. And then you head out into the jungle. It's probably a good 2 hours of travel. Normally we wouldn't let you guys see how to get out here, but it's not like we can't blindfold some of you and have Gon and Hesmet, we're not going to blindfold you guys. So they kind of lead you to one of the resistance. Well, they're not going to because you're one of them.
Right. Don't worry, guys. These guys are cool.
Yeah. So
unlike some people.
I'm not gonna link up a picture of Saw Gerrera as he is portrayed in the new movie, but he's a lot closer to that in terms of age. It's not very long from now that would be happening timeline wise, a couple of years. He's a lot closer to, say, grizzled Forrest Whitaker than he is to the Saw Gerrera that you would have seen in that you would have seen in the Clone Wars stuff. He comes kind of limping out of the tent as he hears you guys pull up, and he goes, I expected you to leave word. I didn't expect you to actually find them. Good job. That must have been pretty easy. And the other two were like, no, not exactly. But thank you. I'm going to go.
Lie down now.
They don't even really necessarily say anything. It's like, hey.
This is totally out of character, but they found us in a stunning array of competence.
Oh, come on. I think you'd say that after they
Backup
left.
wouldn't, but maybe somebody would.
Murmur. You could, you lean over and just, murmur it to Akana. Okay. One person you could actually jump with. Okay, so there's a lot. So Ghana and Hesmond, there's a lot less activity around the camp right now, just in terms of hustle and bustle than you're typically used to. He brings you back into his sort of tent, big tent thing. Just for you guys to sit down. We're in a bit of a situation, and I was hoping you could get some help. I've got resources. I heard that you managed to take the station, and I want to kind of work out a bit of a trade. We've got some people here who are ambulatory but not combat ready right now that might be of use to you, and I'm willing to give them to you on loan to help out with anything you might have there. They're technically apt but injured, so they can't really get into any kind of combat situations right now. If you can help us out with the situation that got them injured in the first place. Does that sound palatable, at least on the face of it, before we get into the details?
I think anything that helps advance the cause is certainly worth doing.
Okay. Give me just 1 second here. And I've got to... Oh, come on. I see the problem. There. There we go. Perfect. All right. In the memento while I go, all right, well, he walks over to this sort of like holo display table kind of thing off to the side and kind of motions you over. And then he flips a switch and this little partially incomplete, partially complete, partially complete sort of 3D map of an area pops up, and it looks like that ish. And he looks at it and goes, this is the primary power station for all the Imperial installations in the city of Iziz. And I would like you to blow it up.
Think he came to the right people.
Esmith is very interested.
The complication is, well, the complication
How, what, when, and where, and
What does it sit underneath, and what all relies on its power? And
well, let me back up and explain how all of my people are currently injured. And that's where we'll stop.
Let me sum up. No.
Let me sum up. Let me explain why all my technically apt people are now walking wounded.
So you can think about joining them.
Yeah, exactly. And we will stop there for tonight since it is quarter after. All right. So take a quick look. Do we have anybody who hit any of their XP things?
Yes.
Your desire for recognition draws unwanted attention account. Did you already mark that?
Let me check and see.
I think you already did. No,
No, I marked my miss. I didn't mark the other.
yeah, you should totally do that.
I wouldn't say I got in a fight, but I'd say I showed protectiveness.
Yes, by stunning somebody who didn't actually need. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yes.
On that note, Hesmet lives by a different code than I do. I'm certain we'll clash soon.
I mean, you hit it. Is it evolving? Because that's really where the XP thing comes from.
I think it's going to sort of evolve in that backup may see him as actually capable of having plans.
Hesmet is a troublemaker. No, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's not quite. I don't know that it's been resolved necessarily, but it's definitely changed. So yeah, come up with a better way of expressing that and take a chip for that. A check for that. Hesmet, what did you hit?
So I chose violence over a viable non-violent option. It just instead of enacting it myself, I had backup enact it for me.
We're gonna mug these guys. Just mug them. Hit him. Hit him. Hit him.
So that will ding me up to the next go.
Okay, that's
Wildly
then-
appropriate.
I actually think that one of my bonds has evolved.
Which bond is that?
Because I have the bond Ghana and I worked together in the past.
Okay.
And I think it will now evolve into I rely too much on Ghana to take care of the shit I don't have time for. Because you'll know both times in the last 2 sessions it's been like, no, you go talk to Ghana. I'm going to take you to her for you to talk. But and then today it was like, I don't remember what it was, but it was just like, Ghana, you deal with these guys. I don't even have time. I'm so angry.
Would you change the work together in the past one or the one where she has your back no matter what goes down? Because that actually seems like that's the one it's not so much about her having your back as much as you're just like you're really relying on her to cover you. This massive gap that you have.
Yeah, I'll go for that one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because the work together in the past, I think that's still the basis of all of it. So maybe when that changes would be when like your actual sort of relationship, how you're interacting with her, how you trust her that's the one that changes. But it definitely changes. So by all means, yeah, resolve that. Does anybody have any other bonds that they think would change?
No, but I have something planned for next session.
You have something planned for next session? That's good. Have plans. I think, and I've been thinking this for a while, I think that the whole like the way that the bonds can evolve thing and the hitting the improvements thing, you guys wouldn't know this, but I GM'd Margie through 4 years of D&D, and this woman's a planner. She plans out like 4 levels worth of leveling up and what she's going to do with them. There are no surprises as far as the leveling up and what's going to be selected kind of thing with her. But it feels like the sort of thing where you can look at it and it's where Margie's planning energy can go. It's like, okay, what sort of scene do I need to angle for in the next episode so I can get that little point, that little XP ding, kind of thing. That seems in your wheelhouse. Okay, so Hesmet dinged, and plus we made that one correction thing. So what doesn't kill me? So he dinged, and he's actually wrapped around again. All right, cool. Hesmet, take your time, figure out what you're going to add in there, unless you already know. I'd love to hear, but if you want to do some research, by all means do that. And that's about it.